Your rabbit does the little bag, stands up on its back legs, gives you that look, and you melt. You want to spoil them, of course you do. But then you stop, because you are not sure what is actually safe, how much is too much, and whether that bag of colorful treats from the pet shop is doing them any good at all. It is the nicest kind of worry, wanting to treat your bunny well. So let me walk you through the safe stuff, the amounts, and the things to skip. I'm a fellow rabbit owner here in Singapore, not a vet. This is how I treat my own rabbits and what gets shared correctly in the local rabbit groups. It is not medical advice. It is one owner helping you spoil your bunny without accidentally upsetting their tummy or making them overweight, and being honest about the point where a treat problem becomes a vet problem. Let us get the big principle out of the way first, because everything else hangs off it. Treats are tiny, occasional, and not part of the daily diet. A rabbit's body runs on hay, with a small amount of pellets and a daily serve of leafy greens, and that is the whole engine. Treats sit outside that as a little extra, a few times a week at most, in amounts that look almost insultingly small to us. We are talking a thumbnail-sized piece of fruit, not a slice, that feels mean when they are begging so sweetly. But a rabbit's gut is a delicate balance thing, and a big hit of sugar throws it off. Small and rare is the kindest way to treat them. Now the good news, the safe stuff. Fresh fruit, in those tiny amounts, is the nicest natural treat you can give. And plenty of what we get here in Singapore is fine. A little piece of apple, with the seeds removed because apple seeds are not good for them, is a classic favorite. A thin slice of banana, and I mean thin, because banana is very sugary and very moreish. A few blueberries, a small piece of papaya or mango, both easy to find here and both rabbit-friendly in moderation. A little strawberry, a slice of pear. These are all safe in a thumbnail-sized portion, a couple of times a week. Think of fruit as the dessert that comes out now and then, never the main event. On the vegetable side, some of the sweeter veg also counts as a treat, rather than a daily green. Carrot is the big one, and here is the myth buster. Carrots are not a staple. They are basically a sweet. That cartoon image of a rabbit munching carrots all day is genuinely bad advice. A little piece of carrot now and then is fine, but it is a treat, not a meal. Bell pepper, the sweet capsicum, is another nice occasional one, and herbs like a sprig of fresh mint, basil, coriander, or parsley make lovely treats that are far lower in sugar than fruit. So if you want something to give more often, fresh herbs are a great choice. Now the things to skip, and some of these will surprise you. Those colorful commercial treats sold in pet shops, the yogurt drops, the seed and honey sticks, the bright crunchy bits, leave them on the shelf. Rabbits cannot handle dairy, so yogurt drops are bad news, and most of those treats are loaded with sugar and stuff a rabbit was never built to eat. They are made to appeal to us, the owners, not to be good for the rabbit. Skip them entirely and your bunny will not miss a thing. Also, a firm no on anything human and processed. No bread, no biscuits, no crackers, no chocolate, no cereal. Chocolate in particular is genuinely toxic to rabbits. And no nuts or seeds. They are too fatty and a choking and gut risk. When in doubt, if it is not a fresh fruit, a fresh veg, a herb, or plain hay-based, it is probably a no. A couple of more specific cautions worth knowing. Iceberg lettuce is one people get wrong. It is mostly water, with very little goodness, and can cause loose droppings. So skip it in favor of darker leafy greens, and beware of giving too much of any one sweet thing in a sitting. It is not just what you give, it is how much. Even the safe fruit becomes a problem in a big pile. The whole skill here is restraint. City biochemists with treats too, and this is something people miss. Baby rabbits under about 4 months have very sensitive guts that are still settling, so they should not get fruit and sugary treats at all yet. Stick to hay, the right pellets, and only slowly introduce greens while they are little, and save the fruity treats for when they are a healthy adult. On the other end, an older rabbit, or one that is overweight, or one with any ongoing tummy sensitivity, should get fewer treats, not more, even though it is tempting to spoil the senior bunny. Match the treats to the rabbit in front of you. It also helps to think about treats per household, not per person. This is the classic trap in a busy Singapore flat. Mom gives a piece of banana, Then the kids each sneak one. Then dad tops it up at night, and nobody realizes the rabbit has had 5 treats in a day instead of one. So agree as a family who gives treats, and how many, maybe keep the day's allowance in one little container, so once it is gone, it is gone. A rabbit cannot tell you it has already been fed, so the system has to live with the humans. Let me talk about why all this matters, because it is easy to think a little extra fruit is harmless. 2 real things go wrong with overtreating. The first is weight. Rabbits get fed the same way we do, on too many tasty calories, and an overweight rabbit struggles to groom itself, has more joint trouble, and is at higher risk of other problems. The second, and more immediate, is the gut. A rabbit's digestive system relies on a careful balance of bacteria, and the sudden flood of sugar from too much fruit can tip that balance and cause soft, mushy droppings or a proper tummy upset. So the small amounts are not me being stingy. They are the difference between a treat being a joy and a treat causing a problem. A few Singapore-specific notes. We are spoiled for fresh tropical fruit here, and a lot of it, the papaya, the mango, the banana, is rabbit safe in those tiny amounts, so you have lovely local options without buying anything fancy. Just always wash fruit and veg well, because of pesticide residue, and serve it at room temperature rather than cold from the fridge. On dry treats, our humidity is a real enemy. Dried fruit and any treat left out in a Singapore flat can go off or grow mold faster than you would expect. So keep anything like that sealed and check it. And honestly, fresh is better than dried anyway, because dried fruit is even more concentrated in sugar. And a gentle word. The pet shops here will happily sell you all sorts of sugary rabbit treats. So do not assume that because it is sold for rabbits, it is good for rabbits. The safe list is shorter and simpler than the shelf suggests. Here is a lovely refrain that helped me. The best treat is often not food at all. Rabbits are smart and they crave attention and enrichment, so a few minutes of your time on the floor, a new cardboard box to destroy, a paper bag stuffed with hay, a willow ball to toss around, all of these light up a rabbit far more than another piece of banana. And none of them risk their gut or their waistline. So when you feel that urge to spoil them, sometimes reach for play instead of food. It is better for them, and it deepens your bond. And using fruit treats well makes them work harder for you too. Save those tiny fruit pieces for the moments that matter. Rewarding your rabbit after a nail trim, helping them feel good about the carrier, or coaxing them to come when called. A treat used as a reward is worth 10 treats handed over for begging. It teaches your rabbit that good things come from cooperating with you, which makes all the harder care jobs easier. Now the honest health line. Treats are an everyday joy, but if something goes wrong after one, that can become a vet matter. And I want you to know the line. If your rabbit gets soft, mushy, or runny droppings after a treat, that is a sign their gut has been upset. A one-off, slightly soft dropping that clears quickly with a return to plain hay is usually minor, but if it continues, or if your rabbit goes off its food, or stops producing droppings at all, that is not a fix-it-at-home situation. A rabbit that stops eating can go downhill fast, and that is a get-to-a-rabbit-savvy vet straight-away situation, the same day. I am a fellow owner, not a vet, so I will not guess at what is happening inside. I am telling you that runny droppings that do not settle, or any rabbit going off its food, means you pick up the phone. Let me bring it together. Treats are tiny, occasional, and outside the daily diet. Safe options are small thumbnail pieces of fruit like apple without seeds, banana, papaya, mango, berries, and pear, plus sweet veg like a little carrot or pepper, and lower sugar herbs you can give a bit more freely. Skip the commercial yogurt drops and seed sticks. Skip all human processed food, and never chocolate. Wash and warm everything. Watch the humidity on anything dried, and remember that play and your attention are often the better treat. And if a treat ever leads to runny droppings that do not settle, or a rabbit going off its food, that is a vet visit, not a home remedy. One last practical habit. Introduce any new treat the same careful way you would a new green. Just a tiny taste the first time. Then wait a day and watch the droppings before you give it again. Rabbits are individuals, and the fruit that suits one bunny perfectly might not agree with another. Going slow the first time costs you nothing and saves you a messy surprise. Thus, spoiling your rabbit is one of the joys of having one, and you absolutely can. You just do it with tiny portions and a short safe list. Do it that way, and the treats stay a happy thing forever. And keep the whole thing in proportions. A tiny safe treat now and then is a genuine pleasure for your rabbit and a lovely way to bond. So this is not about being a killjoy. It is about keeping the treat small enough and rare enough that they stay a treat. Get that balance and you get the best of both. A happy spoiled bunny and a healthy gut and waistline. If this helped, come over to singaporerabbit.com. We put out a free weekly digest made for Singapore rabbit owners. Plain and practical, with local diet and supply tips. And we keep a directory of rabbit-savvy vets right there for the day a tummy upset turns into something more. That is all free and all made for owners here at home. And if you are enjoying these, subscribe and stick around, because the next video is all about water bowl versus bottle and keeping a rabbit hydrated in our heat. I will see you there.